Guys, we just bought this abandoned 335i for $1,600.
This is an absolute street racing legend. When I say this car right here has smoked Hellcat red eyes, V10 Audi R8s, that's not me pulling something out of my rear end. That is something that you will see very soon later in this video.
Now, it may not look like it with the broken bumpers and the crappy fenders, but this thing is an absolute street ripper.
Now, in its current shape, it doesn't run, and it's got plenty of problems, but nothing we can't fix.
When we bought it, luckily the guy was not too far away and we literally towed it home with a tow strap. Currently, we don't know if this motor is trash. We don't know if the transmission is trash. We don't know anything about it, but we do know it has some goodies under the hood.
Right now, we just took a massive gamble on a $1,600 BMW, and it could be a massive waste of money. It could be a massive waste of time, but in the off chance that we can actually figure it out, we're looking at something that is faster than any car that we've ever purchased in our entire life, something that can smoke supercars. I mean, this is the epitome of a supercar slayer, and for 1,600 bucks, I mean, it's the best deal in the world.
Now, we know from surface level, this thing is a pile of junk. I mean, the bumper's barely being held on right now.
It's a bit rough.
Later in this video, we're gonna get under this hood, and let me just tell you, there's some goodies. There's a reason why this thing's fast.
We're talking big turbos, baby.
Now, we don't know much, but we do know this thing has upgraded turbos. So I say we open the hood and figure out what it has. Okay. Ooh, hood struts work. That's a good thing. This is a BMW N54 engine. It is a 3-liter inline 6, and this one came with twin turbos, but this specific car has upgraded turbos. We're talking 19T big Chinese turbo boys.
And on top of the Wuhan war whistles, it's got all the amazing supporting mods, the charged pipes, the upgraded intercooler, the air intakes. They're a little loose, but you know, that's how it goes. We got the upgraded blow-off valve. I'm sure this thing sounds amazing. Now, we took a massive gamble on this $1,600 BMW, and you know what they say, there's nothing more expensive than a cheap German car.
Our goal is to bring this thing back from the dead and actually get it back up to how fast it once was. Before we dive deep into this thing, let's figure out why this car was $1,600.
Okay, first thing we notice, it's got an M3 bumper, a lot of Bondo on it. It's kind of falling apart right now. This looks to me like a real M3 front fender, which is actually really nice. Look how wide it is on this side. Now, if you go to the other side, it looks like just a normal unpainted fender. It's not nearly as wide. So that kind of throws it off a little bit. It would be cool to get the wider M3 fender on the other side, but either way, it's gotta get painted. So believe it or not, this car actually has a clean title, but I don't know if it's been in any accidents, if someone just threw a junkyard fender on it, who knows. We got some 328i wheels. These are butt ugly. They gotta be changed ASAP. We got some carbon fiber mirror caps. On a closer look, a little bit more like Cabron fiber right here. This is just printed. This is, you know, the cheap stuff. Okay, if we take a look at the interior, this one was optioned with red. Nope, I'm kidding. Someone took a paint roller with red paint and painted these seats. You can even see drip marks on them, which is kind of crazy. They didn't do that good of a job, but I do like red interior. So we also got a kill switch right here, which is pretty cool. Race car stuff. A lot of carbon fiber trim back there.
Guys, something scary, very scary just caught my eye. If you look down inside here, it looks like the bumper is being held on by a freaking shoelace. I mean, you know, I do a lot of jank things to put cars together. I've never even seen that before in my life. It looks like it's holding the inner fender to the core support. That's just crazy. Okay, let's move on to the rear end of the car. Now, this thing, just by a quick glance, this is not stock. This is fiberglass, weight savings, baby. This thing has a ducktail spoiler completely built in, and it's already been paint matched. So that's a pretty cool mod. Now, let's check the junk in the trunk. And unfortunately, the battery is completely dead. So we're gonna be using the manual key to open this thing. Oh, there we go. And look at that, the struts are good and everything. And unfortunately, there's nothing cool in here. It's just boring stuff. But battery's completely dead, which makes me wonder why there's a battery here. There's also a battery in there. I don't know. So I guess the next thing would be, let's start testing out the voltage and see if we get this thing started.
Quick reminder, guys, if you want to help support the channel so we can buy more cool cars like this, go get some merch. Backseat Boys shirts, backseatboys.com.
Go support the channel.
Okay, we got the key. Put it in its little key slot. We're in park, foot on brake, go to start, and absolutely nothing. So I'm pretty sure this battery's dead. We can get a new battery and see what happens.
The lights aren't even coming on?
No, nothing. No lights, nothing. This battery is kaput. It's completely dead.
Okay, before we go any further, I want to see how much juice is coming out of that battery. I got a multimeter right here. With there being 2 batteries in the trunk, I think it's pretty obvious that that is where our problem is gonna start. So I guess we gotta figure out if these batteries are any good or any worth saving at this point. So we're in here. First of all, just by looking at this battery, this is a pretty short battery. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably not even enough cold cranking amps for a car like this. Beamers have the really long, big batteries. But just for fun, let's just check voltage. Okay, this is a secondary battery that was just in the trunk, which, yeah, only has 5.5 volts. And then here is the main battery.
What do we got?
Okay, so we checked the main battery that's hooked up to the car right now. What did that read?
1.47.
1.47, yeah. You can't even, guys, you can't even bring this battery back from the dead. At 1.47 volts, this thing is basically as good as garbage. So before we do anything, let's rip this thing out, go get a new battery. Okay, real quick, before we get that battery, I do want to try to jump it to see if we can, do I even hear a starter? Do I see lights turn up on the dash? Just remember, when you do have a completely dead battery, you're not supposed to jump it and let the alternator recharge it because it will cook the alternator. It's not made for that. So I do not plan on running it. I just want to see if we can get some noises to happen. There's a jump point right here. And a jump point, it's right there. Okay, I'm gonna turn this on. We'll go in the car and see if it works. Okay, here we go. Dude, I'm getting nothing.
The button's not working? You're pressing the button?
I'm pressing the button.
Your foot on the brake?
My foot's on the brake.
Any lights?
No lights whatsoever. I mean, the jump pack's completely charged. Like, I know for a fact that jump pack works all the time. So for it to get nothing kind of scares me. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah. I hate wiring, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, literally like nothing.
Let's put a new battery in, see what happens.
Yeah, let's go pick up a battery. Okay, guys, just got back from the store. Heavy ass battery. Let's put this in and hopefully, I mean, if this doesn't do anything, then we might be really fucked. I just noticed something. Do you see this harness right here? Mm-hmm. This harness is not factory. This is some sort of loom. I just don't know enough about these motors. I'm not sure. Here, let me take the battery out. Let's open up. I want to see where these wires go. Maybe there's a short happening. I mean, I don't really know.
Nice.
Got it.
Just break everything in the process.
Dude, look at all this. Oh, that's not good. This is an extra negative terminal. Oh, what is that? That looks like a crush washer for an oil change. Oh boy. And then, yeah, so this is a relay. So there's definitely, I don't know if like anti-lag or what this is.
Maybe for the fuel pump?
Maybe it's for the fuel pump. That actually makes a lot of sense. The fuel pump, guys, in these cars is located under the rear seat. So that could totally be the case. We're gonna have to check back on that. I don't know what that is.
Put the battery in so we can see that Christmas tree dash.
Oh yeah, dude, Beamers hate when you don't have any juice. Like, absolutely hate it. It's probably gonna freak out.
And then this battery works, we gotta program it so it can charge correctly. Just sounds like shit's breaking.
I gotta rebolt all this now.
Okay, we just found our first problem. So new batteries in, we're putting the big red contraption on, and when we're trying to tighten down the positive terminal, it kept spinning around like a stripped bolt. Now, no one knows strip bolts more than me. Ask me how I know. Now, I pulled the little bolt off, and if you look at it, the threads on the inside are completely wiped out. So this will never work. And if you don't have a strong connection on the positive side, which I'm just saying right now, this is not the problem. There's no way in hell we got a car for that cheap for something as simple as that. There's no way. But that would cause problems. I'm going to basically source a new nut, and then we'll put it on and try to start this thing. So pulled the piece out. Now the problem is that the threads on this are messed up. Remember, this is what tightens the positive terminal. I put a new nut on it. The new nut got stripped instantly. This is like hardened. So I bought some hardened nuts, and putting it on, you just kind of have to just tighten it down. It would be nice to use a die, but I don't have one right now. So this will have to do. Just tighten it. It'll kind of recut the threads for me. And this should, you know, work. It'll stay tightened and not keep spinning around.
Okay, luckily the nut worked. Noah picked up the right one and the positive terminal is now tight. But in typical Beamer fashion, there's more problems. Now, I don't think it's gonna stop us today, but basically we're missing a ton of battery wiring related to like the intelligent battery optimization software in the Beamer. Now, it should be fine to get the motor running, but that has to be addressed before the car gets driven a lot. So now that we are tightly connected to the battery, which is a good thing, that's something we gotta start researching.
Okay guys, we need to talk about the two bad boys hidden right down here. I'm talking about the teriyaki titty twisters. These things are insane. Now, they're supposedly 19T turbos. I'm not a turbo expert, but I could definitely see some different outlets. When we had the car jacked up, I was looking from underneath, and you can see that some stuff has been changed around. And we did some digging, and we found out that the previous owner, many owners ago that had this car, had a YouTube channel where he completely built everything. You know, we're talking ported fuel rails, upgraded injectors, high pressure, low pressure fuel pump, you know, the two 19T turbos, and on his page you can see him smoking Audi R8 V10s. We could see him smoking Hellcat Red Eyes, Shelbys, any fast car you could imagine. Now, I'm not gonna show the video in this video because I'm not gonna steal his content, but I will link his channel in the comments so you could check it out yourself. Now, there's a huge gap between him doing that a couple years ago and many owners, and then now us. I don't know if these turbos are any good. I don't know if the motor is good. I don't know what's going on with the car right now. I can tell you the blow-off valve has zip ties holding it together, got some zip ties on the intakes, all kinds of little jank things, which isn't the greatest thing to see, but nothing the Backspeed boys can't handle. Okay, new battery, battery's tight, time to start it, or at least try to start it. Now, usually you check the oil before you start a car that you know nothing about. Unfortunately, BMWs are really stupid. They don't have dipsticks, and you have to start the engine first. So we'll see what happens. Okay, lights turn on. That's good. Let's roll down these windows.
Oh, would you look at that, dude? That's a great sign.
We got working windows. Okay, I think I'm ready to crank it. Should I just go for it?
Go ahead. Crank this thing, dude. No way. Oh, I hear some noises.
We got some lights on the dash.
Do we?
Yeah. So we got braking, driving. It kind of sounds like it's running a little rough.
Ooh, it does sound like it's right. It does sound like it's running rough.
So we got brake pads are worn to the minimum thickness.
Here, turn it off. Turn it off.
Flat tire monitor.
It's running really rough, dude. Dude, a bunch of smoke just came out the back.
Did it? It's got some loud turbo noises. I like that. That's kind of cool. Holy cow. It's burning oil. You could smell that. It's really, really strong.
I mean, would it be a BMW if it didn't burn oil?
You know, normally I'd be like kind of like upset or something, but for a $1,600 BMW, I expect nothing less. Whatever.
Okay, so with all of the battery issues, I have major suspicion that the alternator could be in the mix of problems. So real quick, even with it running rough, I want to test what that alternator is putting out. Ideally, we want to see it charging, you know, up to close to 14.5 to 15 volts. Without the car running, that's not good. Oh, hold on, maybe I have a bad connection.
You have a bad connection.
There we go, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we're at 12.1 with the car off at the alternator. So that's a pretty good sign. Now, I'm gonna turn the car on, and hopefully that number goes up to like 14.5. Okay, let's check it again. And, yep, to my suspicion, we got a problem. So it looks like the alternator isn't doing its job. Now, whether that's related to wiring possibly in the back of the car, or maybe this alternator is just toast. There's a really good likely chance that someone tried to put a dead battery in here and jump it, and maybe the alternator just got killed when they were trying to drive it and recharge it. Who knows? We gotta go from the alternator back and check all of the wiring and basically try to isolate to see if this alternator is toast or not. Oh, I hate wiring so much.
We're gonna just pull it off and take it to the store and see, have them test it.
I think we should just pull it off, take it to the store. I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so far we know it doesn't charge, so I'm not gonna drive it a whole lot, but I wanna see if it'll even move. You know, we just fixed the transmission on the M6, fixed the transmission on the Mercedes. I do not wanna do another transmission right now, but we'll see. Okay, let's put it in the drive.
Hopefully, man, come on. Oh yeah, baby.
We're moving. Oh my God.
What?
The steering, it's like locking up. It feels like there's no power steering. I haven't even gotten it up to see if it'll go through all the gears.
Here, so try reverse. Try reverse.
We got reverse. Let's see.
Oh, it's running rough.
There we go.
Hey, it's got reverse.
Damn. Yeah.
Hey, well, at least we don't have to do another transmission swap.
Well, we don't know. We have to still drive it through all the gears to know that for a fact. Let's hear how it sounds.
Dude, this thing's a race car, dude.
Yeah, dude, you can hear the blow-off valve. It's really loud.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sure, it's not a V8, but I mean, you can't argue with those turbo noises. I mean, those are just super cool.
Okay, well, this is so far good news and bad news. Now, real quick, I did notice this earlier, but I never opened it. That's the power steering reservoir. Just completely just sitting there with only being held on by a hose, which is extremely concerning. It looks pretty full to me. Might be a little low, but it's not that low. So
maybe the power steering pump is kaput.
Oh gosh, yeah, we may have to be replacing a power steering pump as well. So this is not going to be easy, to say the least. But hey, running car, $1,600. We got it running. It just needed a battery.
Well,
it's got a multitude of problems, though.
We still have to drive it. I don't want to jinx us. We still have to drive it, make sure it goes through all the gears, make sure it's not slipping.
It's true. It's true. Well, I would say so far this has been a mild success. Now we have to look at sourcing possibly an alternator. If it's not the alternator itself, it could be a ton of different wiring problems throughout the car. These cars are so overcomplicated. We now have to figure out why there's no power steering. Is the rack bad? Is the pump bad? Who knows? Is the reservoir clogged somehow? This is starting to look like a lot of work, but that sounded pretty cool, so I'm excited. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next episode, hopefully coming out probably next week, where we try to tackle some of these problems and I guess try to get maybe its first rip. I don't know. We'll have to see. Also, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. Make sure to click that bell notification so you stay up to date. And like this video, guys. Comment down below what you want to see us do with this car. Should we just get it running and leave all the crappy bumpers and it be kind of like a sleeper? Or do we actually just restore the whole thing? Let me know. There we go. It's not too bad. It looks a little milky. It's a little concerning how much fuel there is in the oil. Okay, today we're going to be fixing and ripping our big turbo BMW. Now you guys know in the last episode we picked up this BMW 335i with the glorious N54 engine for $1,600. Obviously it's broken, obviously it's got a lot of problems, but it is a clean title. And it has an amazing racing legend behind it. There's video evidence of this car whooping ass. I'm talking about supercar ass. I'm talking about Hellcat ass. This thing just smoking everything on the road. A lot has happened since then. It's been a few years. It's broken down. There's a lot wrong with it, but nothing we can't handle. So in today's episode, we are going to be fixing those major problems. And by the end of it, giving it a good rip. This thing potentially makes around 600, 700 horsepower with room for even more. So let's get started. Okay, in the last video, which if you haven't seen, you should go check it out, we go over all the cosmetic damage, some of the things you can see from the surface level that's wrong with this car. Well, today, not only are we gonna dive deep into everything else that's wrong with it, we found some pretty bad things. First things we're looking at is just mind-boggling. I mean, what a car. You guys have to remember, it was $1,600. You're not gonna get a whole lot for $1,600. I think we got a pretty cool car, but you gotta take a look at some of these things. Right here, I don't know if you can see with the camera, the diff is slanted. And you can see the bushings that are holding the diff to the car completely annihilated. The bolt that goes into it broke. It snapped. This car makes so much torque, it's twisting the chassis or the rear end. But that's crazy and incredibly dangerous. So I'm glad that before we did some rips in it, we got it up on a lift because we're gonna change those out ASAP. Looking back, we could see some really terrible exhaust work that was done. So someone, swapped out the exhaust. Everything else, overall, transmission, bone dry. I don't see any leaks of fluid, which is a great sign.
Now we could see the downpipe. We could get a good look at those, teriyaki titty twisters right there. The things that are making all that power. Just to verify, these are 19T turbos, so I'm glad that that checks out, because it would be really boring if, they ended up being stock. So, we got those eBay twin turbos, which, make a lot of power. So I cannot wait to rip it in this car. We got this super fat, big old boy right here, this intercooler, massive. Looks like it's got a big dent right here. So it got hit somewhere, maybe on a curb or something. You see the shoelaces holding this together. We're gonna do a smoke test, make sure that there's no leaks, because if you have a boost leak, you're not gonna make the power that you expect to make. We can see that the inlet hose is not connected, which shouldn't cause a boost leak, but you don't want rocks or sand to fly up there and just blow up your engine. So we're gonna be fixing that. The serpentine belt is completely toast. That's gonna have to be replaced. We know the power steering pump doesn't work. We're gonna replace that most likely. The alternator we're probably gonna rebuild. Overall, as beat as it is, I don't see that much seeping fluid. Maybe a little bit here, but nothing too crazy. Now, okay guys, right here we can see junkyard riding on the suspension. Now, that's kind of concerning. I mean, this stuff isn't that expensive. So the fact that they're buying used junkyard shit, that just tells you that one of the owners, which goes along with our suspicions, was so broke and had absolutely no money. They spent every dime they had to get this car. Now, when it came to maintenance, that's how you end up with the shoelace job. So that's never a good sign when buying a car. Now, I look over here, this one doesn't even match that one at all. And you take a little look at this bolt right here, it's a little bit loose. So just so that you guys can see, do you see how much play is in that? That's not good. Imagine if we were doing donuts, which my instinct when buying a car is to do donuts, and this thing just popped right off. That wouldn't be good. Or imagine if I was on the freeway, doing a massive pull and this thing just fell right off. That wouldn't be good either. You get this thing up to 100 and this thing snaps, you're gone. It's important when buying a really, really bad car to inspect the car. And, just doing even a shake test. That's pretty much how we found this.
Sure, this thing has a ton of problems, but on the bright side, these tires are brand new. And these aren't just any tires. These are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. These are like $300 to $400 a tire, and they're brand spanking new. Date code 1124. I don't even know. Brand new Michelin's, basically worth about half of what we paid for the car. So huge plus right there.
And I almost forgot. You got to take a look over here, because we could see that we got mismatched suspension. So you could see a shock right over here with a adjustable coil spring, and then right over here an entirely different shock with an adjustable coil spring. So they're mixing and matching suspension components. That's never a great sign. Now this is just what's underneath the car. Let's take a look at the engine bay.
Okay, now talking about this engine bay. Where do I begin? Well, first, this bumper was only being held on by 2 screws, some zip ties, and a shoelace. So, with this out of the way, we're gonna have more room to work. This whole problem started with the charging issue. This alternator we have deemed with a multimeter that it will not charge the battery. It's no good. The first item to tackle on this build would be the alternator, which luckily is only 4 bolts. Now to get down there, we're gonna have to remove this, which there is so much jank in this engine, it's not even funny. I'm a jank guy. We do a lot of jank things here to put cars together. This is crazy. I mean, now at a quick glance, already, things are completely jank in this engine bay. Nothing's held up by brackets. Everything's zip tied together. I mean, this has writing from a junkyard, so that's instantly questionable. This wasn't even bolted down, which had 2 screws holding it together, mismatched screws. As far as the motor, fortunately, it's not port injection. Even though we were sold the car thinking that it was port injection with a deeper look inside, it's normal with direct injectors. But the good news is we got index 12 injectors, and we got 6 of them, baby. The price alone for 6 index 12 injectors is twice what we paid for this car. That is awesome news. Really stoked. These coils look pretty new as well. This thing is puking out oil. So all along the valve cover, there's tons of oil. It looks like someone has RTV'd around this valve cover gasket. So like it has some attention brought to it. There's RTV spewing everywhere out of it. I mean, we got a rat's nest of problems. I mean, like this thing is not drivable. So you saw the last video, the charging problem is our main problem keeping us from driving this car. Now with this, no longer in the car, we can finally get to the broken alternator. Now, this thing was giving us like 11.6 volt while the car was running. That's not good enough. It's gotta be like 13.5 to 14. So this has to be removed. Now, what we're gonna do, because a new one costs like $400 to $600, is we're gonna take it out and get it rebuilt for about 140 bucks. That is true budget right there. I'm not paying a dime more than I have to get this thing on the road. Okay, let's start tearing everything apart.
Okay, here we go. Alternator is out. Now, of course, they don't make it the easiest thing in the world because it's really tight between the power steering, which we gotta still do, and the intake manifold. And it's plastic, so if you're yanking too hard, you crack that. It's BMW for you. No need to buy a new one. We're just gonna have this one rebuilt. That way we keep it BMW, keep it in good shape, and it's a whole lot cheaper.
Okay, we just got back from the alternator rebuild shop, and let me just tell you, it was an amazing experience. They took the alternator in a few hours. We dropped it off and we just picked it back up. In a few hours, they cleaned it, they swapped out all the bad components, and they even replaced the voltage regulator. Now, this is the most common reason why these go bad, and they only make 2 of them now. They make one from China, which is crap, and they make one in Hungary, and that's what this one is. It's an actual Bosch voltage regulator. So when we initially got there, he tested our alternator. It was in fact dead, and once this one was rebuilt before we left, he tested this one again and we got 14.5 volts. So we should be good to go. This should fix the entire charging problem in this car, but there's only one way to figure that out. So let's finagle this thing back in the car, put the serpentine belt back on, and turn the car on. All right.
Okay, alternator's all hooked up. Basically what we're gonna do is now test to see if it's actually charging the car now. Super simple. Got a little voltmeter, positive, negative, should say 14 or higher, and then I'll be happy. So Lenny's gonna start up the car right now. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're connected right now. Lenny's gonna start it up.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, alternator's in, it is charging. It's charging a little bit high, but what I wanna do is let the car idle, see if it drops. But before I let this car idle for a while, I wanna take a look at the oil because we haven't really done that yet. And we should probably change the oil. Probably gonna do that right now anyways, but when you're pushing an engine to the absolute limits, like this example is, you wanna make sure you have clean, fresh oil. It's like the most important thing to protect your engine. You don't want those rod bearings blowing up. You don't want anything catastrophic. So, very convenient that the oil filter's up here on the top. I used to hate it, but I love it now. And that looks...
Dude, what the heck?
Really bad.
Why is it so runny?
I don't know, is that coolant? No, it's gas. So, actually, I wasn't expecting that. This is actually really bad. So, having gas in the oil, which is what it seems like, this is the most dangerous thing you could have. This might be worse than coolant. Basically, when you have gas and oil and you mix, the gas will take the oil and clean it right off. If you've ever gotten oil in your hands and it won't come off, and you don't want to use soap, put some gas in your hands. Same thing with oil stains. It'll wipe it right off. It's not good for an engine when you want every single piece of metal to metal contact to be lubed up. Guys, we're talking about catastrophic engine failure right now. I don't know what's causing this, but if we run the engine right now and let it run, this engine will blow up. This entire project out the window, waste of time, waste of money. This has to be solved right now. And we'll go buy some oil and a new filter and swap everything out, but we gotta figure out what's causing that. In some cases, the injectors can leak gasoline into the cylinder. It'll seep past the rings, wash the wall. Critical oil spots are no longer oiled. your engine could go kaboom, which is not good. So we need to figure it out.
Now, one thing we haven't done is taken a look at the catch can. Now, this car doesn't really need a catch can. It's just kind of one of those dumb mods, but I'm curious to see. I'm assuming it might be a little milky, but I want to see the condition of the oil. There we go. It's not too bad. It looks a little milky.
No way, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna...
It's a little concerning how much fuel there is in the oil.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah, it's a little concerning how much fuel there is in this oil. We're gonna need to do an oil change.
It almost feels like they fucking cross-threaded it in. A lot of fucking idiots worked on this car, and it takes one to know one.
Okay, no water, but that's just really thin.
I can smell the gas in the oil from right here, which is not a good sign. That's really bad. The good news is I don't see any metal chunks so far. And we pulled the filter out. No big metal chunks there either. So I have a strong feeling, because based on, watching the videos of the previous owner, that this is not the original engine in the car. So the car has what, like 140,000 miles in the chassis. This motor could have like 40, 60,000. It could have 200,000. I have no idea. Most of the motor looks like it's in pretty decent shape. Now we could definitely do a compression check to make sure that, each cylinder has good compression.
Okay, and one other major thing we want to tackle while we're under here, as you guys saw earlier, is that this control arm is literally loose. Like this bolt right here should not do that. That's super dangerous. I mean, that's enough to not only kill you if you're going too fast and it breaks, and kill other people. So that needs to be tightened. Yeah, look, it's hand loose. It's getting tight. There we go. Ugh. One more little pump. Here we go.
Don't break it.
Oh, I can't break this. Problem solved. Okay, we got the new filter. I'll lube up. Yes, I changed the O-rings. Bada bing, bada boom. This thing's ready for some more abuse.
While trying to figure out the gas and the oil problem, we decided to flash the car back to its stock tune for testing purposes, just in case this car may have been on an old tune that's supposed to utilize parts that have been removed, or maybe an E60 mix, but something was definitely causing it to run too rich. We needed something safe to hammer out all the kinks while we're crafting our special big turbo tune coming very soon.
Okay, so we are back with the 335i, and we got some good news. Both diff bushings that were broken, but we got replacements, and we got replacement bolts, because look at the old bolt that we pulled out. Literally snapped in half. This thing makes so much power. This was basically jammed inside the diff bushing, and well, we got it out. So far, we dropped the exhaust. You can see how crooked this diff is. I mean, this is not really doing, this is more just for safety, but it's super crooked. I mean, it's basically popping out of the diff bushings on both sides. This one isn't even connected. So obviously, you can't drive it like this. You need specialty tools to remove everything. We're doing that right now. We're gonna basically press in these new diff bushings. I've never done this before. This is gonna be a pain in the ass I hear. So next up, remove the axles, put the bushings in, and then we can get to work. Okay, first step is to remove both of these tiny little axles. It's just a bunch of E-Torx bolts. Once that's removed, we have to figure out how to remove it from the drive shaft. I think you need like a really big wrench. So to get this nut off, you need a special BMW 50 mil tool that's shaped for getting this diff nut off. Now, I don't have that. This is a whole lot cheaper because that tool is super expensive. This is also a 50 mil wrench head, basically. It's a little too big, so we may have to modify it to get it on, but I think we can make something work.
Okay, we ran into a troubling problem right now. So every time Lenny tries to unscrew the axle bolts, it spins the wheels. So, got my ladder. I could lower the car, but why do that when you got ladders? So, all in, pull the e-brake up. We should be good to go. Now I gotta fucking figure out how to get down here.
Should I just go full jackass right now and go kick the ladder out from underneath you?
Okay, while Lenny's taking care of the diff, I am working on trying to get this downpipe out right now because the inlet that's not connected could cause a lot of problems. Like if we drive over a sand dune for whatever reason, I don't know why we would do that, but if we did and the sand gets sucked into that turbo, it's gonna blow it up, potentially destroy the intercooler, potentially blow up the engine. We don't really want that. Something very surprising is that it turns out a lot of bolts on this car are very loose. So it's kind of concerning, but just busted my knuckle on this fucking V-band. but it's off. And now we just gotta be able to just move it, give us a little bit of access.
It is officially time to remove this differential. Oh! Oof! Got it! Okay. Whoa, we got the differential out now. That was a pain in the ass, dude. They say, oh, just remove the differential. I have a lift and that was a pain in the ass. Okay, so now with that removed, we can actually get and replace those bushings, which I hear are a big pain in the ass. So let's get started. I'm glad the bungee cord I put on here really saved the day here, supporting this drive shaft. Whatever. I got the tool. Basically, this tool that we bought, it's a specific E90 diff bushing extractor and installer. And so right now I got the jig hooked up, and basically the way it works is there's a big rod that goes all the way through it. There's something pushing on the end as I tighten it, and there's something holding it in place on the top. And as I tighten it, this bushing is slowly coming out more and more. So probably like another 30 seconds of turning this wrench. I wish I had a ratcheting one, but I don't. And then this bushing should be out. Now this one was already half falling out. This one over here is a little bit more in. So I don't know if it's gonna be a lot harder. I'm also not looking forward to installing them, so yeah, we'll see. These things are basically much bigger before they go in. Here, let me show you. These bushings are substantially larger, and basically they shrink and get contracted as they get put in. Basically that force always pushing outwards to hold the bushing in place. We're just gonna change these two bad ones right here, put new bolts and hardware, and this one should be fine. It looks pretty intact. There we go. Bushing number one, extracted. Out with the old, in with the new. All right, let's see what progress Noah's made on the new bushings.
So these diff bushings are a major pain in the ass because they take forever. And they're this giant black cylinder that you're trying to put in this tight little metal hole. You'd be mature. And it doesn't want to fit, so you gotta lube it up. And you gotta push really hard, twist really hard. And in some cases, your black hole will bend and open up, like right here. So, you know what? They're in, they're new. That's all that matters. We don't want our diff falling out on us like it was before. Okay, so we got this hose clamp in, and what it's doing is it's tightening the rubber, squeezing on it tightly so that we can get it to fit in, because it's a lot bigger. Like it's you look at it and you think, oh my God, I ordered the wrong piece. Fit in there and never move around, never come out. So we're just...
You're hitting the stud now.
Oh, that broke. So we put a little bit of dish soap in it because the dish soap dries out much better than using grease. Now that we ran out of room, now I gotta do it one at a time. Really wish I had a ratcheting wrench this big. I want to drive this thing, dude. It's a 600 horsepower beast. We gotta fix the power steering still. Okay, pretty much almost everything is done. The diff is back in, bushing's tight, everything is good. Last thing we have is a brand new power steering pump. We got a new belt. So far, we're well within our budget, well within our goal, and we should have a pretty good running, driving 600 horsepower beast. So basically, old serpentine belts off. We pulled out the fan again, everything. We got the alternator charging at a good 14.5 now. Everything's good. So just slap these babies in and we'll go rip it.
What a pain in the ass. Getting this thing out of the front of the car was extremely difficult. There's no room for activities. I could barely get my hand in there, let alone my eyes to see what I'm doing. It sucks, but anyways, whatever. We got it out. I don't know how it's gonna go back in. We're gonna have to just push it in there. That's the new one, that's the old one. We have to swap over the pulley, we have to swap over the brackets, get it somehow back in there, and somehow connect the lines without disassembling half the front of the car. So, wish me luck. This is the last stretch until we can drive the car. We checked the reservoir, we checked the lines, everything seemed intact. If this doesn't fix our power steering problem, then we might be screwed, because we may have to go get a new rack. I don't even know what else could be the problem at that point. Really, fingers crossed that this fixes this power steering problem. All of the brackets and the little pulley is transferred over. We're good to go. Now comes the part I'm dreading the most, is getting it back in there.
Okay, this thing's a real bitch to do, but what's happening is power steering pump is in the bracket right now, held up. We got the banjo bolt. Now, it might have been easier to do it when it was out, but it goes to this line, and it's a real bitch trying to get in. Brand new crush washers on it. You don't want to reuse them, because if you reuse them, it might leak. So brand new ones on. Trying right now to get this thing threaded in, and because it's at an angle, the banjo bolt likes to fall out, and the crush washers like to fall out and jump onto the shop floor somewhere and hide like a 10 mil. I think I got it right now. Oh, there we go. Banjo bolt is in. Just got to use a wrench and finish tightening that fitting. And last time I tightened the banjo bolt was in the Mercedes, and I snapped it. So I gotta be extra careful this time. And we should be good to go. The car is pretty much put back together. We got the new serpentine belt, the new power steering pump, the new rebuilt alternator. We have all the bolts that were loose have been tightened. We got new diff bushings. Diff is intact. It's no longer at an angle. We'll see for how long. But now, it's time to put new power steering fluid in. We got the Penison. This shit is expensive, but it's a nice, you know, metal can, so that's pretty cool. So just start pouring this shit in there. It's green and smells nasty. So I'm filling this up. We'll start up the car, move the steering wheel back and forth so that it could really pump that fluid into the lines, and then we gotta top it off again. Okay, we got a new oil filler cap. I got this on eBay for dirt cheap. We got the old one, and this is basically not really an oil filler cap, it's more of like a breather valve. It's supposed to get that blow by out. These things are usually garbage, and what's happening is it's leaking oil by all the coils and the spark plugs. So it's just junk leaking oil everywhere. It's really not needed. So we're gonna get rid of that and put the oil filler cap back on. Solves an oil leak right there. Start this bitch up.
Oh, no leak. That's good. Hey, dude, how's the power steering?
It works.
It works?
Yeah.
That's a success.
But let's clutch it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so you can feel the rear end start to slide, and you have to like kind of just move it. Turbo noises are the coolest thing in the world. And as loud as this one is,
Oh my god!
it starts to slide instantly. This thing is dangerous. I mean, the fact that this is just some boring average 3 Series that has this kind of capability, that's why it's just like a cult classic. Damn, dude. Guys, we are on a stock tune right now, but when you put the pedal down, there's about like a little like half-second delay before the turbos kick in. Once they kick in, the back end starts sliding. You start fishing. You have to immediately take off. Otherwise, I'd go into one of these buildings or something. But I'm just like, whoa, like the whole fucking time. So that's crazy. I can't imagine how dangerous this thing is gonna get once we put a crazy tune on it once again. Okay, Lenny's got to try now.
Yeah, let's do it.
This thing's crazy. Damn, dude. This thing is wicked.
Dude, it's blowing smoke like crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we gotta get this tune on ASAP so we can really beat the shit out of it.
Part of me wants to get new bumpers and fenders, but at the same time, part of me likes the rattiness. The fact that this thing could just whoop a supercar's ass and look like a pile of trash is kind of fun. So comment down below, should we repair the fenders and bumpers, or should we leave it ratty and sleep your like?
Today we embark on an almost impossible task, building a 600 horsepower BMW for under $3,000, including the cost of the car. Well, luckily today, we might just do that.
We picked up the infamous N54 in this 335i for $1,600, but it was modified and broken and wasn't running. But the bones were good. We just had to get our hands dirty.
The car wouldn't run under its own power, so we replaced the battery and fixed the terminal connecting it. Now it couldn't charge, so instead of buying a new alternator and spending a bunch of money, we had this one rebuilt. And on top of that, the diff was hanging out of the car. So we replaced all the bushings and got it back in place. Then of course we had no power steering. So we got a cheap Amazon power steering pump, replaced it, and got our power steering back.
In addition, we changed the oil and the serpentine belt. Pretty much a nut and bolt restoration if you ask me.
Now it's time to upload that big tune to get the big power upgrades. Now I know the car doesn't look great, but budget is the key here. We're talking about homeless man level budgeting right here.
Now to really maximize these power gains, we're gonna be custom tuning it with our friends over at Wedge Performance. Basically, it's a bunch of back and forth data logging and tune tweaking, so this thing's gonna be crazy fast.
Remember, this car has big ass 19T turbos and all the bolt-ons you could imagine. So hopefully nothing breaks.
Let's get tuning. That's right, baby. With the help of MHD, we are gonna be tuning this thing to the absolute moon.
Okay, first step of tuning is to get it on a charger. That way it doesn't die in the middle of tuning and then, you know, brick your ECU.
So to do the custom tune that we've been hyping up for so long, we are getting a bunch of help from our friends over at Wedge Performance. Now, Wedge Performance knows N54s like no one else. They hold some of the highest N54 records in the world as far as tuning and speed and quarter mile times. This guy is an expert in N54 tuning, and luckily, he's helping us out and doing a custom tune. Now, as you guys have seen in a lot of our previous videos, usually we just upload, you know, an off-the-shelf map is what it's called. Something that's kind of preset. That's typically what we do. It's a pretty simple process. Now, this entails a little bit more detailed work. Let me explain. He sent us a baseline N54 map that we then need to go drive the car and get him some real live data logging numbers. He then will take that and make the first iteration tune for the car. This is a much more involved process, but when you're dealing with big turbos and a lot of aftermarket parts, this is the best way to ensure your motor is not only safe, but getting peak performance. Now that I loaded up the MHD app on the phone, all you gotta do is flash a custom app. I already have it loaded up, which is right here. It's currently working on flashing the car right now. So oh, look right there. Our battery charger is recommended. See, I told you guys. Okay, it's currently tuning. Okay, so the map has currently been flashed. Now, the next step in the process, as much as I wanna go rip on it right now, we gotta get our tuner at Wedge Performance data logs. And what that basically means is that we have to drive the car in a set parameter. In this case, we're supposed to drive the car in 3rd or 4th gear and log it between 2,000 and 7,000 RPMs at wide open throttle. And basically, he's able to take that data and then more custom fine tune the map so this thing runs like an absolute beast. The next step of the process is to use XHP to tune the transmission. Now, because this is, you know, big turbo stuff, this is gonna require, we want extra line pressure and a bunch of other fancy stuff I don't quite understand. Now, all we have to do before we start data logging this car for the actual proper tune is load up the transmission tune. Okay, so stage 3 is selected, flash now, and there we go. It's tuning the car. It's actually tuning the transmission.
Okay, so we took the car out to do some data logging and it was running really, really rough, having issues. We kept getting the check engine light, and what it was telling us was the T-map sensors. Okay guys, the car is still going into limp mode even after we replaced the map sensor. So the only other thing to think about is the T-map sensor. Now this is the charge pipe on the car. This is the T-map sensor. Do you notice what's wrong with it? It's missing a bolt right there. So that's causing it to be all shaky and loose, which could cause boost leaks and all kinds of problems. Now, I was thinking, why did the previous owner not put a bolt there? You can see, and when I remove this, you can see that the bolt broke inside of it. So I'm gonna work on extracting that. We already went to Ace Hardware, we picked up some new bolts. So we'll get this thing in tight. This is a 3.5, so this is an upgraded T-map sensor, and then hopefully we'll be good to go.
Okay, quick update. What we had to do is replace the charge pipe. The old one, we just could not extract that bolt. So what we ended up doing is getting a new shiny charge pipe, which, you know, was good anyways because we needed a new blow-off valve that actually worked. Replaced all that, replaced all the seals, making sure we don't have any boost leaks in the process. Very cheap, just some things on eBay that came really, really fast. Now the car's all good. While I did that, I replaced the T-map sensor that goes on the charge pipe. Now the car's running perfect. We have no more problems for now, knock on wood. So the map sensor is brand new. The T-map sensor is brand new. I got that one open box, but OEM. So we're still in very, very cheap. But what we're doing right now is basically making sure that everything is working. Just a few more revisions of the tune. we should be able to have a 600 horsepower beast. Now, the quality of gas in California is not the greatest, so just to be on the safe side, since we're pushing a pretty aggressive tune, got some octane booster. So I'm just gonna add this in there, and then that way, you know, because we're pushing almost 20 pounds of boost with this tune, you know, this will help make sure that we have the highest of octane. When you're doing your normal, like, off-the-shelf tunes, it's not as necessary, but when you're doing a custom tune, really pushing the limits, you need your secret sauce.
Yeah, this thing's fast. It's really sketchy too.
Okay, these fenders are complete crap. We bought some used ones for $100 off Facebook Marketplace. So we gotta put these on, but first we gotta remove these ones. And I think I know a guy who could help us.
All right, folks, look, Zach Burton's here. My neighbors, the Backspeed boys, just hit me up. They needed some help removing some body panels from their BMW build. Well, of course, I'm a good neighbor, so I'm gonna lend a hand with about 750 horsepower worth of American big block. Aw, damn it. Thought I was gonna pull all of it.
Hey guys, we got the new fender. It's bolted on. Should be pretty simple. Not as simple as we pull it off, but okay, should just slip right in. Now that we made some much needed correction to this fender here, we should be able to put these bolts in and be good to go. We just gotta align the hole. Boom, and just like that, I mean, this thing's probably not gonna go anywhere. Now we're good to go. I'm gonna close this bad boy. I don't think that's the right color, dude. Fuck, dude, we bought the wrong ones. Well, news to me, apparently BMW has more than one type of gray for this car. Oh well, at least they're shiny now. I guess it looks better than before. Okay, last but not least, we can't forget about the reused bumper. So we're gonna hold this on with a few screws and some zip ties, and let's get back to making some power, baby. Okay, bumper's on, and I gotta say, we've done a ton of work to this car. I think it's time we take this car out and go have some fun.
Brittany, bitch.
Oh, dude, I can't even hold the pedal down, dude. This thing, holy shit. This thing just wants to absolutely go sideways. So this thing is absolutely pushing the limits right now, but Noah's gotta try it. Like an actual proper launch. I think he's gonna shit his pants.
Whoa. Well, I just shit my pants. Let's do it again. The sound is amazing.
You say like now?
Shit. Oh, we may have broken something.
Well, we did it. The build is complete. Well, at least the tune is.
Where this car lacks in looks, it makes up for in capabilities. The N54 is the greatest platform if you're looking for high horsepower on a budget. As you've seen in this video, we achieved that 600 horsepower mark for under $3,000. Now guys, what you have to remember about this car is that the capabilities are limitless.
Maybe you and your friends should go pick up a pile of shit like this and have some fun. The great thing is, if you want to get yourself into one of these cars, they're pretty much all modded on Facebook Marketplace. It's honestly hard to find one of these that is completely untouched. So for a few grand, you could pick up a great project car, already has tons of money in mods, and you just gotta get it running. Like, simple stuff. Needless to say, there's definitely gonna be more N54 content in the future. Your twin turbo V8s and V10s and V12s are cool and all, but this has a special place in my heart.
And coming up soon, we've got a special spicy tune for my twin turbo V12 Mercedes, so you're not gonna wanna miss out on that. I wanna thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. We've got a whole lot of builds coming out in the month of March and April, so a lot planned. You're gonna wanna make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you're a member of the Backspeed Boys family.
And I gotta say, before ending this video, how much I've absolutely fallen in love, not with the car, but with the motor. This is my first N54 BMW. I think it was Noah's first too. And being able to really push this motor with the upgraded turbos makes me really want a nice car, because this thing, let's be honest, is a pile of shit.
But most importantly, share this video with your friends if you're looking to get an awesome fast car for dirt cheap like this.